Hello and welcome back to episode 18 of Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. I'm Vic and you're watching yet another Let's Play channel. Yet another Let's Play channel. Gotta slow down. So let's head back to the lab and do an experiment that will, as usual, not accomplish anything for us.
This must be Trewan, the Divine Syndicate's god.
It looks more like a Tree James to me, but who am I to judge? Oh, this is going to be important.
The list of plant friends and benefactors, lawyers, well-known manufacturers, political leaders.
Alrighty. I was hoping we were going to notice a name, but I didn't spot anything. We might have to check that later. We already partook of the cocaine, so... how about we just head on out? Bye, Tai Chi Man. I feel like Syndicate is a very odd choice of name for your religious group. Or even your pseudo-scientific group. But that might be a... Oh, good, now Watson's over there doing Tai Chi. Did you partake of the opium, perchance, Watson? I'm pretty confident that cocaine doesn't make you feel like doing Tai Chi.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
I do like the British penchant for understatement. Yeah, why? Can I...
My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack.
Okay. What happens if I do this one? Ooh, a bitey reaction.
It appears to have fallen inactive after being disturbed. No reaction.
Okay. I believe I'm done with the pin. What else we got? Do we caterpillars?
How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism.
I don't think... Well, why not? Chomp.
I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating.
Mm-hmm. And how about you? All right. And how do you like alkaloid?
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid.
Okay.
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
And what happens if I pin poke you now? Oh ho ho.
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it.
Okay, I see where we're going with this. So, is that what I want? No, I want this. Yeah, okay. So, we alkaloid over here. And then we put that down, and we caterpillars.
To open after.
Yeah, and we caterpillars over here. Ta-da!
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
Really? Are people actually going to talk to us this time? Yeah, I think so. What else we got? No? Really? Yeah, he's not very good at botany. He's not very motivated. Fine. Alright, so we'll go back to the garden. We'll talk to some peoples. What? Come on. Hopefully peoples will have things to say to us. And then I think maybe we're going to do a little night raid on the garden. Hey, you. You have anything to say to me this time? Yeah, you do. I guess I should comment that that experiment turned out to be more productive than the last one, so I'm glad of that.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
I think there are some problems with that testimony.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
Slight inconsistency there.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
All right. I feel like this line of questioning is not particularly related to my recent activities, but it is what it is, eh, Sherlock?
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert to Mr. Hamish from the large glass house.
I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
Oh, that's the imagination. Okay. I want to check something out. If I can. Where the hell am I? Alright, good. Yeah, this'll work. I want to see if I can finally interact with the stupid ventilation motor. And I would also like to review that roll that Miss White referred to. .320 isn't here. Where is it? In the laboratory? Wait, no. What is this? Oh, there's more, okay. 320.
Here it is.
Couldn't do that until she told us what number it was, I guess.
These plants, classified as shrubs or grasses, have adapted to their arid environment due to a system of underground roots.
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
Okay.
Cylinder records.
Uh-huh. Cool. Maybe I actually could open that before and I just didn't work it out. Alright, now I want to check out the ventilation motor. I suppose it's possible that I'll have to check it out after I conclude my little experiment. But I find I'm somewhat obsessed with it.
First of all, I
Yeah, okay. So why exactly are we... Oh, the caterpillars, it's going to turn out that they get active when they're at a particular temperature or something. Aha. Mm-hmm. And then... What? Is that it? So yes, and then... Yeah. That's it, right? Sniff, sniff. And then, oh, I'm not feeling so good. I gotta smash this door down so that I can die in the fountain.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
I see. We know that this pops open. Mm-hmm.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
So I have to what? Follow it around? I mean, I already know where the... I already observed that. I already know where the motor is, so like... Why am I observing that? Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? I need to fiddle with the intermediate vents.
Before starting the engine, the power is on. The engine cannot be... The engine has started. The ventilation system is working.
And now... There's something else that's going to be interesting about this. Right? Mm-hmm. So the vent that's highlighted is interesting because it goes through the workspaces that Miss White and Hamish both use. Ah.
Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
The one back in White's spot? Yeah, there it is.
Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Mm-hmm. So obviously we're still missing some clues here.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Yeah, what indeed? What's still missing? find out what the Divine Syndicate is concealing? Is there more to do at the Divine Syndicate? I'm really bad. I'm really bad at finding clues this go around. So we're gonna go back to the Syndicate? Why? Oh, I suppose we should have talked to... Yeah, alright. So we do have more to do at the Syndicate. We need to talk to Tai Chi Man about the pots with the Royal Gardens insignium. I guess I was a little blasé about that one. Hey, you.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
There we go.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search. Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his greenfly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Yeah, so he says someone stole the deadly plants, or that they were missing. But this doesn't really make sense unless we can establish a relationship between the Divine Syndicate and the one person that had an opportunity to trigger the poisoning. So let's go with this one for now. And I believe... Yep, Hamish is guilty. And... So is there any way to read this? Yeah. I really want more of these to connect up. But if we say that the sect is involved, right, then that contradicts this, which doesn't have any alternative. I mean, it doesn't really contradict it. We need to establish that Hamish is involved with the cult, I think, if that's going to go anywhere. Can we do this? Nope, that's conflicting as well.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
What are we going to do there? Just call for his arrest? Does that work? Oh, look at that. I got a whole little tunnel over there. Let's have another look at the contributors. There's nothing there. So we have these peoples. Lieutenant Colonel, unnamed, unless it's J.G. Spencer. Mrs. Spencer, Stapleton, Mackenzie, Sherbrooke. Yeah, none of those...
The list of plant friends.
None of those ring any bells, do they? So, there doesn't seem to be any avoiding the Hamish angle, right? He's the only person that makes sense for firing the caterpillars. And yet... Alright, what does that give us? Sect stole everything, partial theft. So if we say that the sect stole everything, then we say that the sect is involved, right? There's no contradiction here. I mean, the fact that Hamish knew these things doesn't contradict that this sect might also have known these things. I don't like that. So that gets us back here. And unless we're missing a whole buttload of clues, there's no way for us to accuse just any arbitrary person. Alright, I'm just gonna go for it. I think the Hamish angle is inescapable. I think maybe if we found another clue or two that we might be able to implicate the Divine Syndicate also. But I don't think we're going to find it. Whom do I talk to? Can I talk to you?
Mr. Holmes?
No. I don't think we have any business with Dunn's belongings. Do we need to talk to Lestrade? Yes.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
Oh, we're not done yet. Maybe he'll give us the impetus to implicate the Divine Syndicate. What do you suppose they talk about while they're riding around in the carriage?
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Why not? Oh.
Holmes, my God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
All right, here we go.
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
Life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. We Hamishes seem to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so here and now. Farewell.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Oh. Hamish was unable to run due to the tibial torsion of his club foot. Therefore, we should find out if he had sufficient time to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room and activate the ventilation system. Aha! Discuss with Lestrade the possible impact of new clues found on the body of Martin Hamish. Very good. Well, we are all out of time for episode 18, so come back and see me again in episode 19, and we will finally get down to the Divine Syndicate's involvement in this whole matter. Talk to you soon.